Welcome, everybody, to Bold Authors Promo Hour. Today is St. Patty's Day. Top of the morning to you, top of the evening. I'm not sure if top of the evening is right or not. I have no Irish blood in me, but I'm happy to see everybody here. We have a lot to do today, so we're going to get to it. And I'm going to share my screen with you. And just give me a thumbs up when you see my screen. I am not seeing any thumbs up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we were in Bold Authors. If you were looking for promo hour, you were at the right place. We're going to start off with, I got an email from Sue Toth, and she may not be here. So Chris, we're going to actually start with you. For those of you who are new to us, we have a program called Unlimited Laser Coaching, and that is where I work with members in the Bold Authors Network to customize solutions for their concerns, for their issues, their problems. And this is all related to book promotion, to selling more books. And so today, Chris Jones is going to share with us. I'm going to stop sharing, Chris, so you can take the screen, screen. And he is going to share with you a breakthrough that he had recently in one of our sessions. And Chris, I think I need to, did you want to show something, or are you going to just talk? Do you need the screen?
You had mentioned you had the chart, but I
Yes.
can talk to it though. Sure. I'll just talk to it.
Okay, I do not have it. I could
Okay.
not find it, so my apologies for that.
No problem. Kay had suggested that I take a look at the comparative authors I'm in a real near a niche, beach music, Carolina beach music, which is 60s and 70s era music. And there have been a few books written into it, but not that much. And so Kay had suggested that I do a spreadsheet to our real problem was trying to find a way to get people that have read the book. We've had, modest success with the book and have several sales, and people are talking about it freely on some related Facebook sites, but we haven't been able to get it to transform into reviews on Amazon, where I think I have 4 now and 7 ratings. And so Kay had suggested to compare how I'm doing versus the authors in the niche. And I found 22 books in that niche. And just taking a look at them, I found that my book was doing better than I thought it was, which was a little bit of a revelation. And I would not have guessed that without going through this exercise that Kay had suggested that I walk through. But I'm a stickler for information, and so broaden the categories to take a look at ratings, reviews, how long the book had been out, but also the price point, because my publisher's been after me to consider a price reduction. And so that was sort of the comparative niche that I walked through. It took maybe 3 or 4 hours to do it, but I feel like it was well worth the time, and it was quite revealing. And my publisher is now backed off of the request to review our price point, seeing that we were better off positioned than he had thought.
Great. Thank you, Chris. And would you list the columns from left to right that you used for
Yes.
collecting the data?
Yes, we basically started off with the author's name and then the title of the book. We then had a column for the year. I then moved into the ratings, to what the ratings numbers averaged, the number of reviews, and the average of reviews over the years the book had been in existence. And so that was the points that really showed how the book was doing overall. My book's been out 3 months, and some of these other books had been out 15, 16 years. And so during that kind of comparison, it shows basically, I think, a reasonable view that people that are what I think are age 50 and above that are reading the book just simply aren't doing that many reviews of books on Amazon.
Yes, and we have talked in this group about teaching your readers to do reviews, right? To making it very easy to do reviews. And I think, Chris, one of the first things that you did when we started working together in Unlimited Laser Coaching was to make a postcard, right?
Yes, we made some bookmarks,
A bookmark,
and
yes, a bookmark.
we have since been giving them out at book signings, which were um, people are glad to get the bookmarks. We haven't seen reviews yet, but hopefully it'll make a translation at some point.
Good, good. Thank you, Chris. Now, I
Thanks.
think because we have a little bit of time, because Sue isn't in today. She was called into a meeting and couldn't join us. Do you want to mention anything about what we did last week with social media posting?
Um, sure. I have Kay had revealed to me I've been having trouble getting display type graphics that I could use on Facebook and social media sites. And my publisher has been really good of helping me, but to get something done takes a week to 10 days at a time. So I had asked Kay about who or other vendors that might have some aids that would help a struggling author be able to develop some graphics and social media posts. And one of the vendors that she mentioned was a company called Ablaze, Ablaze.
Oh my God.
A
A day,
dazing,
did I say it
yeah.
wrong? I'm sorry.
AD, yeah,
Adaze, sorry, thank you.
AD.
And but basically, I have become a huge fan of that company, and more so after looking at our Amazon sales this weekend and seeing some movement, because one of the various programs in this particular platform, which I think was $9.99 a month, and I'm still in a free trial period, but the basic some of their places actually allow you to develop a little ad, and they then run them on several blog sites. And we actually saw noticeable movement in our Amazon sales numbers over the weekend. Uh, and we were just really blown away with that type of attention. And when you looked at the graphics of where the graphic apparently is being shared, the number of views that it's potentially getting were quite significant in their analytics material.
Mhm.
But the program had everything from making a short video reel to graphics, just plain display graphics, which is the immediate need that I have here. And they were really quite creative, and I thought they were quite good, especially for the bargain basement price of $9.99 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the company Adazing, Adazing is the name of the company. And they have several platforms that will create scenes with your book in it. And they're very good. And the one that you are using is called Author Social Assistant, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and that is the one that I would recommend for everyone to check out because it is their better platform. The
Okay.
graphics are better. They're less, uh, what's the word I want? Not amateur or cheesy because all of their stuff is good, but they have graphics and posts and ads and reels and all of that that Chris was talking about. And so you get a lot of options and you can get 1 month done like a whole month done at a time. And so last week when I was working on it, I got all of March done, and I think I did a couple extras. They had a couple bonuses, so I did like 32 or 33 memes. Now I like to also use them in emails. So not only for social media, but also for emails and other, I'll put them into a presentation, or I just find a lot of ways to use them because when I find some that I see like Chris did that are reaching the audience and the audience is responding to, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use those in other venues and other distribution channels as well. So thank you, Chris, for sharing that. And
Could you
Chris
just
and
what is the name of that company again? I'm trying to
I
write it.
will, yeah, I'll put it in the chat. It's called Adazing, ADAZING.com. And I will also put in the chat and also in the email. So it's author special assistant is the actual program that Chris uses and what I use as well. And I'll include that in the email tomorrow when I send out the link for the recording today. Okay, now we got to keep moving. Thank you so much, Chris. That was great. We had such a good time, and it was so much fun to see Chris like looking at these images like appearing on the screen. It's like, oh my gosh. It was so much fun. We had a blast. All right, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and we will keep moving today. Just give me a thumbs up when you can see the screen. Thumbs up. Okay, great. So this is what's coming up on my calendar that I want to invite you to this week. Today, of course, is Authors Promo Hour, but on Wednesday, on March 19th at 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to be speaking on the Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel Summit. And I share this with you because and I will put this this in the this link in the chat as well, and also in the email tomorrow. I would love for you to be there because I love the support that you guys give me, which is really awesome. But I would also love for you to be there because the way that Kimberly Crow sets up her summits is similar to the way that we are going to be doing a summit in a couple of months. And so she has a very specific platform and procedure that she uses when she does summits, and she's very, very good at them. I always know that when I am in a summit of hers, there are a couple things that are going to happen. Number one, I feel completely reliable on her for the tech to be great, for if it's an interview format, she's going to just make it so easy for me. If it's a presentation, the tech's going to be taken care of. And I'm always going to get leads on my email list. Now we haven't started digging into the power of having your own email list, and that's something we're going to address within the next couple months. But all of the summits and the speaking engagements, the social media, emails, all of that is to increase your email list because that is the major asset that you own. You do not own anything on Facebook, you only rent that space. And so we want to get you started creating things that are going to increase the numbers on your email list. Thursday, I am launching Coffee with Kay, which is geared towards readers. Again, you guys are authors, but you are also readers. But come with an author's mind because you also, as an author, may want to consider starting to do author talks for your reader audience. This gives you a very intimate connection. It makes you someone who is very relatable. readers love authors of the books that they love. They love that connection. And that connection actually then becomes, over time, a revenue stream. Last week, we looked at Taylor Swift and how she connects with her Swifties, how she goes on tour, how she invites them to her house, how she does these unique and extraordinary things to connect with her readers. And I'm encouraging you to come to the one that I'm doing on the 20th so that you can experience it and begin to think about how it could work for you as well. All of these are on Zoom. For the Copy with Kay, if you go to the readers link, www.k.kwagner.com, and sign up there, you'll be on the list to get the Zoom link for that event. For Authors Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, I'm just about to give you the link for that one, and I will put it in the chat as well. So this is what's happening on Wednesday, and I will put this in the chat before the end of our session, but I will be speaking along with this group of people in their summit. This will be similar to the summit that we are going to be doing. So if you have the opportunity to sign up and you can't attend, you will still get the recording of it and you'll be able to see how this summit is run. It's very well run. I'm on at 2:30 p.m. As you can see, I'm doing a speaking engagement, an interview similar to the one that I did last week or 2 weeks ago. I mention that because as you develop your speaking authorship skills, you're going to have a speech that you can count on and rely on anytime there's an opportunity. And this will give you visibility. This will give you credibility. So this opportunity comes twice a year. I think Kimberly does this, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. She has authors and entrepreneurs, authors of fiction and nonfiction within her audience, and obviously readers. This opportunity from Dallas Woodburn. Dallas Woodburn is an author and book coach, and she does a summit called Write Your Book Summit. That summit is going to be running May 12th through 14th. They are still taking applications for this summit, and you see the link down here. This will also be in the email that you'll receive tomorrow, but the deadline to apply is March 21st. Now, everyone in promo hour today can find one of these summit themes that they could have a presentation for. So every one of you, if you wanted to, if you were ready, could apply for this summit, Write Your Book Summit. So these are the summit themes, and take a look at it when you get it tomorrow. Take the link down, go see what the application asks for. This is the beginning of the process for you to start to not only get prepped for speaking engagements, but also for podcast guesting, which we're going to spend a lot of time on in another couple sessions. So this is Dallas Woodburn, and it's Write Your Book Summit coming up in May 12th through the 14th. I will be applying for that summit as well. And I'm looking to be in day 3, which is growing your business with a book, looking at other revenue streams that you can develop and create from your books. Now we're going to talk about why authors should be speakers. This is one of the foundational ideas for the Bold Authors Network, is that authors must be speakers. And there are a couple of reasons here. There are many more reasons than what I have listed here, but I just want to tee this up for you today because we're going to be doing a little practice. So one reason is to be seen. Showing up is 90% of your success. I think Woody Allen said it's a higher percent than that. But showing up, doing the applications, showing up for the speaking, even though you're uncomfortable or anxious or terrified or feel comfortable, whatever, showing up is 90% of the success. Being there in person on Zoom in a summit gives you credibility and presence that you can't get through just sending out emails or posting on social. People want to see who you are. They want to see if you're relatable. They want to see if you're authentic and real. And so the second reason is so you're known, and being known, being on stages, being known for your messaging and your presentation style, how, much education expertise you share, if you're funny, if you're, um, give them a great experience. That's what people are looking for. And so being known, if you don't show up, you can't be known. So that's kind of a 1-2 step right there. And then the third thing is just to be relatable, to be in person, be authentic, be real, be the quirky little person that you are. However your presence fills a room, however you bring your expertise and experience to the forefront, just be relatable, be yourself. And then be reputable. So this is a really important one, not only for speaking, but in how you run your business. So you can be counted on one thing, and that is to show up and give a good speech. If you can be counted on for that, then you can probably be counted on for other things. So if you're consistent in one area, you're probably going to be consistent in another area. There's a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So that consistency runs through your presentation, through your authenticity, through showing up, through being there and keeping your word. And so it is my belief that authors must be speakers. They must step up to the mic. And as Kimberly Crow says, when somebody hands you a mic, take it, be ready. And that's what we're practicing. So the formula for book promotion mastery is this: practice, 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 plus delivery, plus debriefing equals mastery. And I want for all of you to be masters at getting on the stage, whatever the stage is, and being able to deliver your message in such a way that it ends up getting you more book sales, that it draws people magnetically to you and to your books. And this is only done through repetition and frequency. You have to do it over and over and over again, and then some more. So visibility, which is one of our V's, is that accumulation of being everywhere, showing up and being everywhere. It's like Calvin. Calvin on his YouTube channel has how many episodes now?
441.
441 episodes. That's a lot of visibility. And you can tell when you go to his YouTube channel, his numbers keep going up and up and up, up and up. So kudos to you, Calvin, for your consistency. So what we're going to do today is we are going to start with a very, very tiny little practice session for speaking. This is just a tiny little practice session. We're going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to walk you through this format. Don't worry if you don't have all these pieces. This is a no stress practice zone. Don't worry if you don't have all of these pieces. But what we're going to practice is what you do have. So, for example, your name, your book title or the one that you're working on or thinking of, a short book description, the URL where your book can be bought. If you have a gift or a reader magnet, and what the title of that is, and a URL where your readers can get the gift or the reader magnet. So for example, it would look like this. So somebody hands me the mic. Here we go. I'm Kay Wagner. My book title is Saturday Night at the Trailer Park. It's modern fiction. Frankie Girl comes of age as she faces unthinkable challenges in the trailer park. And the question for the reader is, will she overcome her trailer park identity and become the empowered woman she wants to be, or will she be stuck here forever? I'll put my URL in the chat box, and I have a gift for all the authors here today, 10 tips for free book promotions, and I'll put that URL in the chat box as well. So then what I do is I copy paste all of this, I put it in the chat box, and everybody has it. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Do you guys have this framework written down? Okay, good. I'm going to stop sharing. And I've asked a few people to share this with us in public. And then we are going to move into breakout rooms where you can practice together. We'll come back together and talk about it, and then we'll do another breakout room. What I'd really like for you to watch is this. Don't worry about getting it right. Don't worry if you stumble, if you fail, quote unquote fail. What I really want you to pay attention to is what's going on inside of you. What are your feelings, your emotions? What are your thoughts as we begin to do this? Because this is the work of becoming a master. Practicing in the face of anxiety, in the face of self-doubt, taking courage by the hand so that you can lead to the stage and deliver what we have today as a very, very short format. And so I am going to call on Natalie. Natalie, where are you? You're here. I just can't see you.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, so I'm going to call on Natalie and then Calvin and then Chris. And then after that, I'm going to ask you what your experience of how that felt for you. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms. So Natalie, do you want to go forward?
Yeah, happy to go for it. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Horseman. I am a nurse and also an author based in North Carolina. So my first book is called Goat on the Go, Scout's Muddy Days. Sorry, I've got the background going there. So this book came out in November. It is about my real life adopted goat. He is quite mischievous, always likes to get out of his pen. So this is his adventure about what happens when he goes exploring. It's full of curiosity, problem solving, gentle lessons on emotions. It's great for ages 3 to 8. Parents, grandparents, caregivers, teachers, wonderful for story time. I'm very excited to share that the next book in the series will be coming out in just a few weeks, and also working on a children's book to come out, fall book and Halloween around hopefully September. So that is what's going on for me. I have the Amazon link that I will share for you all, as well as a link to get a free digital copy. So I will send that on as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. We'll look for that in the chat. Okay, next we have Calvin.
Just parenthetically, I may not be up to form because I stumbled into having to interview 50 directors, actors, actresses, production people. So I've done 5 already today, and I got 5 more to do. So I'm a little blitzed out. But so I'm just happy to talk about There's a Tortoise in My Hair, A Journey to Spirit. The short description, it's a rich, resonant, and vividly imagined character study, because that's what Kirkus said. And Kirkus gave me their highest honor, a Kirkus Star. So this must mean something. And they compared me, of all things, to John Irving, and somebody else compared me to Philip Roth, who actually lived 12 blocks away from me in Newark, New Jersey. So this has been a journey of a lifetime to do this. The subtitle is A Journey to Spirit, because it talks about my journey, fictionally, but in real life, my journey to finding some unusual things about our lives and the spiritual influences our lives have. It's available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. And this has been one of the great journeys of my life to have written this, and with the guidance and the help of Kay Wagner. She lit a very incandescent light bulb for me and told me that there's actually 4 separate novels within the body of this. So I was ready to hang it up and sit on the front porch with a glass of prune juice on the rocks in a rocking chair and call it a day. Now she's ignited me, and so I have 4 more novels to write, thanks to Kay, but it's all generated from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. Okay, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Jones. I live near Athens, Georgia, and this is the book that I have written is I'm a co-author of The Embers, the Bobby Tomlinson story. In 1970, I was a student at the University of Georgia and went to a club in underground Atlanta and saw a band called The Embers. Little did I know, 50 odd years later, I would get an opportunity to write their story. It's the Embers were a band, came out of Raleigh, North Carolina, founded in 1958. They went on to become icons and help found a genre identified as North Carolina, or as Carolina beach music. The Embers have been together now for 65 years or 67 years, and they continue to kick in the region here. The book tells the story of the challenges faced by the band over time from their early founding as they broke into the area beyond the college music scene. And they then became great entrepreneurs. Among the things they did is they owned their own music clubs that became really a forerunner for the nightclub scene in a number of college towns in the Carolinas. But the Embers, the Bobby Tomlinson story, it's the story of beach music, and really it follows their path along the way of almost 70 years now in the Carolina beach music era.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go back to Natalie. So what do you have to report to us from what was going on inside of you?
Yeah, I got nervous like right at the last moment. I'd even written it out. I knew what I was going to say. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of go off in another direction. So, I mean, I didn't quite stick to the outline that I had prepared. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. And I kept telling myself, keep it short, stop rambling. So I was thinking a lot about what I was saying. So yeah, I completely understand the need to continue to practice. So it's not so yeah, so it feels more feels easier. Yeah.
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 Okay, great. Okay. Calvin, any comments from you?
So, you're putting me on a spot and having to do this, but as having done, a bunch of these interviews, you do natural, free flowing, and whatever, comes into your, what you want to talk about, but whatever comes into your, and to keep it smooth and running and seamless, whatever comes into your consciousness, and this fills up your consciousness quite a bit, even your dreams and your sleeping hours. So it was a natural expression. I may not have stuck to the precision, but that's fine. You just want to be yourself.
Great, great. Thank you. And Chris, how about you?
I was very nervous and forgot that I was going to be doing this, so I was on the cuff. And I have immediately made a copy of Natalie's gem here that I will be working from in the future for my elevator speech. And my apologies for not being prepared.
No
I was
worries.
very nervous. Thank you.
No worries. This is why we practice. This is why we practice over and over and over and over again. Now, I will say just a few things about the presentations that we just saw. Number one, you need to be aware, and I think Natalie, you caught it with your book, how your book is going to be seen on screen, right? So you can't hold it down here. And especially if, if you have, a blurred out or another screen behind you, it's got to be like right in here. And so you need to make sure that you're, know where this real estate is. This is your most important real estate right here, this book. And your biggest tip is to always have a book handy, because in almost every conversation that I have on Zoom, I end up doing this. And it's frequency, repeat, repeat, repeat. Get that book into the heads of my people, of my buyers, over and over and over again. The other thing is being prepared for what to put into the chat box. And that means, this is what happens in our author promo world. When you go to do one thing, there will be 5 things that you need to do before you can do that one thing. So you cannot have a URL for your lead magnet if you don't have the lead magnet. You can't have a URL for your lead magnet if you don't have the lead magnet and a page to send people so they can go to that page and get your lead magnet. So everything is part of a sequence, a funnel. And this is why we start to do this, because one thing means you've got to have a couple things. So in the lineup that I gave you, I asked for 2 URLs. And that URL, the first one was so people can buy your book. The second one is so people can get on your mailing list, your newsletter or email list. 2 critical buy more books links. Be on your newsletter, buy your book. So learning that you need to have a document at the ready is one of the learnings for today. So I see there's some people, let's see, Elizabeth just put hers in. She's got links. Andy put in something. So great job for you guys. But as we begin to hone and practice, we're thinking, what am I doing to get more books sold? What am I doing to get more people on my email list? And do I have my book so that people can see it and remember it? Important things. All right, I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms. And for those who came in after I took the slide off, if the rest of you can share what the lineup is of what you need to practice. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms and we're going to give it a whirl. So tell me how the practice session went. Any volunteers to share their experience in the practice sessions?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Catherine.
I think it was very helpful. everybody was very confident, and it proves that you know your stuff, basically. If you're like, well, let me think about this, it just, that wouldn't be as good. But everybody really knows their stuff. They're very confident. They know exactly what, of course, what they wrote, but how to convey that to others. And that was that was confidence boosting.
Wonderful. Great. That's good to hear. Anyone else who'd like to share? Just open your mic and go for it.
All right, we talked about selling our books, or writing them. Writing them's one thing. Now comes the real work. That's what we talked about.
Yes, it is the real work. Sometimes it's the hardest work. Okay, we're going to move forward. While you guys were in the breakout rooms, I put some information in the chat. Would you guys check the chat and make sure that everyone can see that? I put in the information, the links for Dallas Woodburn Summit, for the Entrepreneur Summit, and also my spiel, so you could see how the links and how the formatting works. Can you guys see that in the chat?
I do not see it yet. Let's see.
It should be at the very, almost close to the bottom. I'm not seeing it. Okay. All right, I'm going to see if I can just copy paste this. Put it back in real quick. I think sometimes in the breakout rooms, you don't always get the chat.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
There it is.
Okay. So that's that one. And then let me do Dallas Woodburns. Good boy. And the format that I gave you for practicing. I think what's really, really good discipline is to understand that sometimes you will only have a minute, you will have 2 minutes, and you can't meander. And so really nailing down those magic words, those magic phrases that we know people respond to becomes really important, because we are often time crunched. And even if you have 5 minutes, your listener does not have 5 minutes of an attention span. And so as we go through our practice, watch for those things that people remember. And this is why I do rapid recall at the end of every session. So I can pick up on what people are remembering. What are those short little magic phrases that people always remember? And you want to create those to be associated with you. So it's like, oh, well, it's like what Natalie always says, boom, boom, boom. And you get associated with that. It helps the brand recognition, so to speak, and becomes really important in your memorability, in your relatability, and in your reputation and word of mouth. If you think about it this way, say, oh, okay, Kay Wagner, she's the one who X. What is that X that you fill in? And everybody wants to have an X that people are saying about you. That's your reputation. I have a few things for you, and then we are finished for today. Let me share my screen real quick. You can see my screen, thumbs up.
Yes.
Thank you. So my next book is a work of nonfiction. It's called The Bold Author's Playbook. And I'm still playing with the subtitle, 3 Simple Steps to Turn Unknown Books into Big Sellers Without a Large Audience. I am looking for alpha readers. If you would be willing to be an alpha reader for me, put your name and yes, alpha reader in the chat box. What I need from alpha readers is to read an early draft, which will be ready in about 3 weeks. We're almost finished with the draft, and then I want to go through it a couple times. I want to test the subtitle. So I have a couple I want to test, and then the book will have resources. So I'd like alpha readers to evaluate those resources and make suggestions. And then, of course, when it launches on launch day, to go in and to give it reviews. These alpha readers, the actual documents will be, the book itself, of course, will be free for you. And I will reciprocate in any way that is appropriate in terms of what you would like. So if you are interested in being an alpha reader for this book that's coming out, I would love for you guys to be part of it. You will recognize some of the things like vision, voice, and visibility and value, and other things that we are doing here in the Bold Authors Network. And I want to thank you. I can't see the chat right now, but I want to thank anyone who's put their name in and who's willing to play. Next week, we have Jack Shakadis, who is coming from BookFunnel. If you are not familiar with BookFunnel, this is a major day for you to attend. BookFunnel delivers to your audience a lead magnet, a chapter, an excerpt, a freebie. They deliver to people who sign up for your list in almost any format that your readers might want. In addition to that, as you can see down here, they handle the distribution of reader magnets, secure ARCs, which are author copies, author something copies, new readers, direct sales, in-person sales, and others. And so Jack Shakadis, whose podcast I was on a couple weeks ago, will be here. And I just want to tell you a little backstory really quickly. This is how amazing life is for the author life. Jack Shakadis, on behalf of BookFunnel, does webinars. And so I attend them as frequently as I can. I love Jack. So I showed up for a webinar and Jack was there, and we were the only two people. And I'm like, oh, did I get the wrong day? And he said, I don't know. This is the day and the time, but something got messed up. I guess there's a glitch. And I said, okay, well, I respect your time, Jack, and maybe we'll just each get an hour back. And then we got started talking, and an hour and 10 minutes later, he had me signed up to be on his new podcast. And so I was number 7 on his new podcast. And I'm going to send that link out in the email tomorrow. We had a fantastic, fantastic interview. Very, very unusual podcast. And I will be forever grateful for him for that chance encounter to get to spend time with him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, always be ready. Just always be ready to be engaged about your book, about your author life, about what you do. Questions. We have 1 minute for questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And also, I'm going to ask for rapid recall. And I'm going to just pick a couple people who are new to us today. Michelle Richmond, can you give me rapid recall for today? What was your big takeaway, aha moment for the day?
I am so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I just signed on. I'm sorry. I missed the whole
Oh,
Zoom. I'm
okay.
real. Was this recorded? Will there be a replay?
Yes, there will be.
My
Sorry.
apologies. I had to work and I just got home, but I'll
Well,
look forward to the replay.
Yes. Okay. Andy Murphy, can you give us a rapid recall aha moment?
Yeah, I thought it was useful to speak about my novel. I've never spoken about it before. I've always been writing it down, so it was definitely useful to speak about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. How about Elizabeth Barbour?
Thanks. So I always appreciate the chance to practice. I've been doing a bunch of podcast interviews about my book, but I really always appreciate your resources, Kay. You always give us suggestions of other things. So I'm going to apply to the Dallas Woodburn Summit
good. Good.
and do something about writing rituals because I did that for
Oh,
Alexa
yes.
Bigworth and her podcast. So thank
Yes.
you.
Awesome. Yes, and she does have a podcast as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your participation today. It's so good to see you all. I hope that you really are here next week because Jack is going to show you some of the promos that book funnels do, and they're free promos. It's an amazing part of what book funnels does for the author world. So St. Patty's Day, for those of you who are Irish, enjoy, have a green beer if you like that. And otherwise, top of the evening to you. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here. Don't forget to save the chat.
Mm.